I don't know how all of you feel, but I just think Joe Buck has made Monday Night Football more relevant. He gives it a big-time feel. We have a two-part interview with Joe tonight. In part one, we talk family, his mom, his dad, and his wife. But we begin with Monday Night Football. There used to be this thing about Monday Night Football. People hated Howard Cosell so much that people would turn down Howard and listen to your father and Hank Stram. I'm wondering, what did you do as a kid?
Well, I listened to my dad. I mean, I didn't really watch Howard Cosell. And a lot of times I was in the back of that booth, in the radio booth. And so for as many times as my dad took me on Cardinal road trips, he also took me to Monday Night Football, different CBS TV games that he did. But the Monday night games, I remember specifically as a kid, going into his radio booth and walking in there like, my dad is king of the world. I mean, he's got the coolest job. He's doing Monday Night Football on the radio. And then two booths over is Howard Cosell and Don Meredith and Frank Gifford, and they're wearing the yellow blazers, and there's lights, and there's security, and I was like, man, I thought what my dad did was cool. Look at that. And so it always left that mark on me. And I wonder what my dad would feel like if he were still around going, oh, my kid's calling Monday Night Football on TV. It's still a really coveted position and something that I feel honored to have.
It's been 20 years, but how often do you think about your dad during a broadcast or before a broadcast?
I think of my dad every day, and I will tell you that my dreams at night, I would say he's in my dreams 6 nights out of 7 in a week.
Your mom's role in your success?
Vital. Probably more so than my dad's. It's a good question because everybody always looks at my dad, and sure, I mean, I copied his style. He took me everywhere. He and I were best friends. But my mom has always been my rock and somebody that I can get an honest assessment of my work from. And it's not always that you're the best, honey. You're the best. Sometimes it's been brutal honesty that's made me think about the way I'm doing a game and has made me better.
Michelle, your bride, is turning out some great work every week on Monday Night Football. I'm wondering, do you guys talk shop a lot, or hey, when we're together, we're just going to enjoy life and talk about the kids?
No, we talk shop a lot because her schedule actually is more hectic than mine now. We talk a lot of shop with where are you going to be, what are you going to do. I'll help her with questions. She helps me. You know, we talk about the NFL and about work a lot. But, yeah, we try to separate that a little bit. And even when we're on the road and we're both doing Monday Night Football, she's doing the pregame, I'm doing the game, we stay in separate hotel rooms because I'm usually up until midnight, 1 o'clock, working on stuff that I'm thinking about. She's long asleep. She gets up early. I'm sleeping late. So ESPN's like, oh, we get to save money on rooms. And I'm like, nope, we're doing separate rooms. I'm here, you're there, love you. And we get coffee in the morning.
Supreme Court justices and play-by-play broadcasters have the most longevity. But for some reason, I can't picture you doing games when you're 75. Could you?
No, I mean, it's a good question. I think, you know, watching my dad grow old in the booth, he was of a different generation. I don't believe that, I'll want to do it, and I'm kind of thinking that I'm not going to be capable of doing it when I'm in my late 70s.
Our Cardinal Buick GMC Sunday conversation is with Joe Buck. We begin part 2 talking about the World Series, specifically without him at the mic. Did you watch the World Series, or did you cold turkey it and just, hey, I'm moving on, I'm not going to watch?
No, that's a good question. I started to cold turkey it a little bit. I wasn't, once the Cardinals were out, I wasn't as wrapped up in it. But I found my way to the TV, and I watched a lot of Game 5, and I watched a lot of Game 6, and I was with Michelle during Game 6, and I caught her just looking at me out of the corner of her eye, like wondering what was going through my mind after doing 24 and the last 22 in a row. And I was like, I'm okay. I'm okay, honey. We're good over here. I was happy that it looked great, sounded great, and I was happy that I was sitting on my couch.
I felt this way, and it was interesting because many people on the national level felt this way, that the World Series did miss that big-time appeal without you. And Bill Simmons even went out of his way to say, I miss Joe Buck. What about some of the outpouring of affection when you weren't there?
Well, I think it just points out that old adage that you either have to die or retire before people really kind of appreciate what you did. Part of me was like, where the heck were all you people when I was doing it? The other part of it was you just kind of laugh at it and know that if Joe Davis does it long enough or whoever's next, when they hang it up, people will miss them. It's kind of the backup quarterback situation. Yeah. Everybody loves the backup, but they want to rip on the guy that's in there taking the snaps. And I've lived it. I've done it for over 20 years, and I'm glad that part of the stress in my world is kind of gone.
Finally, at the end of your career, what would you want someone to say about your work?
He didn't get in the way of a good game. He didn't make it about him. I think sometimes, my only criticism when I'm watching at home is that person is trying to make this moment about them and not about the actual moment on the field. And sometimes people take that, and that doesn't mean I'm right. Sometimes people take that, oh, he doesn't care, he doesn't get excited. It's the opposite of that. I've been around it for my entire life, and I celebrate what's on the field. So I like to say what happened and get out of the way and let people just listen to the natural reaction, whether it's a crowd going crazy or it's a stunned home crowd that just got defeated. I think that's the main thing. That, and he was a nice person to everybody that he worked with. And if I could get those two things, then I think I will have done not only what I wanted to do, but what my dad wanted me to do in this business.